Ever since I started using the trading software that you're seeing on my screen right now, my trading has improved and I will never go back. Today we're talking about the A1 EdgeFinder, and this is a software tool that our team here at A1 Trading has put together in the last month or 2 months. We've been working so hard on this product and we have officially just made a whole bunch of updates. And let's jump right into what we're actually looking at. First of all, I want to just kind of start that we've added this homepage. So if you're using this or you already have a copy, feel free to check out the homepage. What this does, it just gives us a quick glance at the market. And what you'll very quickly see here on the screen is that there's a number of categories here and metrics on the screen and a whole bunch of scans. And then you have all this stuff. Let's break it all down. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, the top buys and top sells. This is probably one of the most interesting portions of the software, and it's usually where I start my day when I'm looking for trading setups. What you'll see here is that you have a couple strong buys, you have some buy ratings, and then you also have some strong sells and sell readings. Now, what qualifies this thing to be a sell? Why is the euro dollar a sell, or the euro CAD a sell, or the pound CAD a sell? And how can we potentially use this to find trading setups? Well, let's start with an actual example. I've got real money on this thing. I'm not just talking about it in theory. A lot of times YouTubers will just show you stuff and not actually put their hard-earned money on it. I'm going to actually show you a trade that I took today with the CAD Swiss. So let's look at CAD Swiss and break it down into its individual components. So what we do here is we just navigate to the report section where we can take a look at the example. Let's click on CAD Swiss. So I jump over to CAD Swiss, everything updates here, and boom, we're taking a look at CAD Swiss on an individual basis. Now, this has a strong buy reading for the CAD Swiss. And in just a second, I'm going to show you a trade that I'm in right now with real money on CAD Swiss. CAD Swiss has a strong buy rating. It has a 6 score. What does that mean? Well, if you look at all the different categories here, it's going to break down how this score is calculated. So when we look at COT data, you can see that there's a +2 in this category. Where's that +2 coming from? Well, let's look at the COT, or Commitment of Traders report. What is this information? It is basically institutional reporting. And we know this from the Commitment of Traders report. You can look it up if you're not familiar. It is a measurement of what institutional traders are doing here in the US in the futures market with major currencies like CAD and CHF. And what we can see here is if we look in the long category, 66% of institutional traders are long on the Canadian dollar, whereas only 16.8% are long on the CHF or the Swiss franc. On the contrary, we have a high short positioning and a low short positioning, relatively speaking, telling us that if we're going to buy one of the two of these, institutional traders are long, so we should consider that in our analysis. Bam, it gets a +2 in that category as CHF, short, CAD, long, +2. Next up is interest rate divergence. Now, this is another metric that we added, and basically what it just says is comparing the interest rates of the two currencies, we know that generally speaking, a currency with a higher interest rate with the underlying economy is more attractive. So when we look at Canada relative to Switzerland, Canada has a much higher interest rate. In fact, they're at 1% interest rates, and Switzerland has a -0.75. So when we compare those, there's a bias towards buying CAD. So that category gets a +1. So now we're at those two done. Retail sentiment is next. And what we'll see here is that we actually have a +1 in this category. Why is that? Well, institutional traders are shorting the pair, whereas long positioning is much lower. We know that the retail traders here are shorting at a very high rate, and there are very few long. That's a positive. Why is that a positive? Well, we know that the crowd tends to lose money, and so if they're on the short side, it's going to lean us towards the long side. Next up is trend reading. We have a strong trend using some simple moving averages. We just get a +2 in this category. Straightforward enough. Now let's talk about GDP growth. We just added some fundamentals. And for those of you guys who have been already using the EdgeFinder, this is new stuff. And it's really cool. We added some fundamental data metrics into the EdgeFinder to help incorporate some more powerful tools. Under the GDP growth category, what we can see is that Canada has a faster GDP growth in recent reporting. That tells us that Canada seems to be outpacing the Switzerland. And so that gives us a bias towards the long side, towards CAD, +1 in this category. Inflation should be in a red color. We're still fixing some final updates, but color-wise, logistic-wise, it's working. Inflation here, we have lower inflation in Switzerland, which of course is a better thing for Switzerland, so that actually gets a negative reading here for us, but still, we're taking into effect multiple factors. Finally, unemployment, same thing. We have a -1 in this category telling us that Switzerland actually has a better unemployment rate. Lower unemployment is better. So putting that all into perspective, we get a +6, which constitutes as a strong buy. And then we take that information, we take a look at the charts. Now, remember when I said I'm going to show you a real trade that I'm in? I wasn't kidding about that. Here is a real trade that I'm in a real broker. I'm logged into Oanda. I'm on TradingView, which is integrated with Oanda. And this is a trade that I took today based on this analysis. So I literally entered into this position here this morning. I went to my A1 EdgeFinder. I went to the home page and I saw that on the home page, CAD Swiss, I could actually also take a look at the score chart summary. I saw that CAD Swiss was high up on the list. I also saw that CAD Swiss was pulling back, and I decided to go ahead and take that buy trade. So I bought CAD Swiss this morning after price came down to a support level that I actually liked on the 4-hour chart. So people sometimes ask, Nick, how do we use the EdgeFinder? What's the best way to approach it? Well, here's the thing. I like to use the EdgeFinder as a general bias of direction, but then I use my technicals as I always do for my entries and exits. So I marked this zone, price came down to my area, the EdgeFinder was clicking as a potential buy, and bam, I entered the trade. Now this thing could come down tomorrow, but the point is, I was able to catch a trade with a lot of metrics in my favor that I look at, and ultimately the trade ran in my favor for now. Now I'll probably move the stop loss to break even so that I can't lose money on the trade, but you can see that we initially risked $800, we're already up $1,200, and it looks like we have potential to continue higher. We'll see if that's correct, but the main point is we have a nice trend, and this was helped, this trade setup I may not have taken had I not had the EdgeFinder to help me find it. Now again, the EdgeFinder, I don't want to make it too good to be true. It is not too good to be true. It's not 100% every time you take a trade with this, you're going to make money. Like, please don't think of it that way. These are just metrics that we all know and love, and many of us look at already, conglomerated into a single automated software tool that shows it to you every single day. Now, back to the homepage. You guys may have been wondering, well, what's this all about, Nick? This right here, I love it. The reason I love it is because this thing basically tells you, based on to the x-axis and the y-axis, we have information that I want to point out. On the x-axis, okay, we have the score. So remember, we just got done explaining the score metric. When a high score is reached, that is basically a strong buy. Basically, at the time of making this, we have 6 or higher being a strong buy. Strong buys you'll see on the right-hand side of the screen. The further right we go, the more of a buy rating those currency pairs and markets like gold and the US 500 have. If it's down, if it's super low scoring, we consider that to be a higher sell. Now, the reason that this chart, this scatter plot makes a lot of sense is that if we have high rated buys and I'm a buyer in pullbacks, then I'm looking for daily performance to be low. So for example, the y-axis will show us the daily performance, and ignore the S&P 500, which is down a lot today, which is also why this thing is kind of skewed a little bit, so we can't see everything super clearly, but usually it doesn't look all jumbled up like this. The point is, this quadrant and this quadrant, for me personally, are the most important quadrants. Why? These are high rated buys that have a down day. So I like to buy things in an uptrend on a down day. So if there was something in this category, perhaps I'd be looking at buying it. Nothing there right now, but we can look at the sell side. Let's look at Aussie dollar, for example. Aussie dollar is getting a potential sell reading because we are seeing a price movement up, but overall Aussie dollar has a very high short score. So let's actually go look at that. Again, we can go to the report section, make it really easy to navigate, and bam, we are looking at AUD USD, which has a very high -8 score for potential sell setups. When we look at this, it doesn't mean I'm going to go sell it right now. I've still got to see a technical trade, a technical entry, and go with my normal price action attempts to enter and exit the market. But this gives me a bias, and it's a rather strong bias. When we take a look at this thing, we can see that COT data, we can go through the process again. very, very sell heavy by institutional traders, whereas the dollar is very bullish. Then we go to interest rate divergence. Interest rate divergence tells us 0.4% bias towards USD, as the US has a higher interest rate. That's attractive for USD, less attractive for AUD. Retail sentiment, we see that the crowd is very long biased on this pair. So if the pair is being bought by retail traders, and we know that retail traders tend to lose money, we're looking at the short side. So the point of this software is not a holy grail system that's going to tell you what to do. It's going to share with you many metrics that you can take into consideration in your trading so that ultimately you can make a more informed decision on the trades that you're willing to take. Now, in the description down below, there is a link to get a copy of the A1 EdgeFinder. If you would like a copy, then you can click that link down below in the description. You can purchase it from our website. This is, again, something that we have spent countless hours developing. We've spent a lot of money investing in building this platform for traders. If you would like a copy, we would love to have you join the community of traders who are using this already. We have a good number of people who have signed up and joined kind of our cause here with this software, who are people who are looking to spend less time scanning for charts and more time just entering trades and moving on with their day. That's what this sort of thing is designed for. That's what I use it for every single day. If you'd like a copy, you can click the link down below in the description, and it's going to give you a discounted rate if you use the promo code that is down below in the description. That promo code is for subscribers. So if you click that link, use that subscriber discount, you'll get a discount. That kind of was a little bit redundant, but you get the point. Also, if you'd like a free trial version, the free trial version is available. There is a link to join our newsletter for this. If you click to join the newsletter, you'll also get sent a free trial version if you'd like to play around with this. Now, the free trial version allows you to look at Euro USD, but none of the other charts. So it's still helpful if you'd like to try it out and look at Euro Dollar, for example, which right now has a really high sell reading. We've been bearish on this thing for a few weeks, actually a few months. From the EdgeFinder suggestion using these metrics, we've been very bearish and making some money on the downside. So again, the EdgeFinder is an excellent tool for finding confluence, finding biases to a direction, whether it's long or short. Or maybe you're looking at certain things and you're like, maybe should I be trading Aussie New Zealand? Well, based on the EdgeFinder's findings, basically, no, it's pretty neutral. There's not a strong direction. In fact, there's a lot of neutral pairs that are probably better off not being traded, at least according to the EdgeFinder at this time. So for me, I'm sticking more to these pairs, and I'm sticking more to these pairs, and I'm looking for strong directional bias. That's going to add more to my trading in terms of insightful knowledge to my trading. I'm going to be able to look at many metrics to make an informed decision. And that's the whole point behind the A1 EdgeFinder. So again, one more time, if you'd like to sign up to get a copy of the A1 EdgeFinder, there's a link down below in the description and a promo code there for members here on the channel or subscribers here on the channel to get a discounted rate, or you can get a free copy version, which is linked down below in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching. We're so excited about this product. We are looking forward to your feedback. And for those of you guys who already have it, please feel free to comment down below what your thoughts are and what your experience has been so far. We've had a lot of good positive feedback, but we're always looking for more feedback from users. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Looks like it's time for your next trading video. Check out the videos here and here for more free trading content that should help you in your trading journey. We try and keep it real here, so make sure to subscribe for more content that is down to earth, realistic Forex trading content. See you in the next video.